Trustees, we're welcome each of you here tonight. I know we have a lot of visitors and we're always glad to have you. We have a new board member, Mr. Chris Carr, and he will be sworn in just a few minutes. I'd like to call our meeting to order. Ask you to stand for the invocation and by Ms. Hood and remain standing for the pledge of allegiance.
Let's pray. Dear Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the cooler weather, Lord. We thank you for each person that's here. We ask that you guide us in our decisions tonight. Bless our teachers and our staff and administrators. In your name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. Hood. Our next item got you on is oath of office for our new board member, Mr. Carr.
Mr. Carr, will stand with me. You'll repeat after me. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. All right. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I am duly qualified,
that I am duly qualified,
according to the Constitution of this state,
according to the Constitution of this state,
to exercise the duties
to exercise the duties
of the office
of the office
to which I have been elected,
to which I have been elected,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my
to
ability,
the best of my ability,
discharge the duties thereof,
discharge the duties thereof,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of this state,
the Constitution of this state,
of the United States,
of the United States.
so help me God.
So help me God.
I swear that I am,
I swear that I am,
under no promise,
under no promise,
in honor or law,
of honor or law,
to share the profits of the office
to share the profits or the office
to which I have been elected,
to which I have been elected,
and that I will not,
that I will not,
directly or indirectly,
directly or indirectly,
sell or dispose of said
sell
office,
or dispose of
said office,
said office,
or the profits thereof,
the profits thereof,
but will resign
will resign
or continue to discharge
and continue to discharge
the duties thereof
the duties thereof
during the period fixed by law.
during the period fixed by law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. Carr.
Thank you.
Folks here
I
with
do
you.
have my wife and her parents and my daughter and some other families over here. I'm sure y'all know Blake Sanders and his family there. I'd love to have y'all up here too if you'd like to come to join us.
What are we doing?
I guess not.
Is it a party?
It's always a party.
I mean, I'll take a picture with you, but that's all.
Thank you.
Are you gonna be the only one that's not in the family?
We're gonna do one with the family first.
Oh, you part of the family.
Who else wants to get in?
This is gonna be all.
Just keep it. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Our next item on the agenda is approval of tonight's agenda. It's number 5. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Wilson, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Burgess? All those in favor, please show it by the uplifted hand. Next item is approval of the August 26th meeting. You each will be able to copy or email the copy. Do you have any additions or corrections to be made at this time? Hearing none, we will need a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll make a motion we accept.
A second.
Mr. Wilson, all those in favor, show it by the uplifted hand. Okay, Dr. Young, do we have any press tonight?
Does not look like we have any press over there tonight, Ms. Upton.
If you wanna go ahead with the recognitions now?
Yes, we do have some folks to recognize, but before we recognize those, we don't have any certified hires, but we do have one person that Ms. Brady wants to make sure you all are introduced to tonight, so.
Yes, we are very excited. Once Mr. Thomas announced his retirement and we all kind of processed through that news, we are very excited and thrilled to welcome Miss Cindy Durham. Cindy is a former student of mine. I taught her many years ago and I'm very proud of her. But we would like to welcome her as our new Director of Finance, and I think she's got some special folks with her this evening. Yes, please.
This is my husband and my children. I am beyond excited about this opportunity, and I just cannot wait to work with all of you guys and the leadership here and do what we can to make Anderson one better. So, love this community, I love this school district, and so I'm very excited. Thank you.
Thank you.
What Travis would probably, maybe will admit this before he eventually does retire, but all those presentations and different reports that he presents, Cindy's the one that's been.
I'll teach Cindy how to do those.
Next, we do have some other folks that Dr. Wilson's going to recognize.
Yeah, Ms. Upton, Dr. Young, if y'all come out in front, please.
I would also like to recognize, the chairman of the Career Technology Center that's here tonight, Mr. Phil Ashley. He's also, a Clemson, should I say, instructor for supervising our resident students out in our schools, and does an excellent job.
As we always say, Anderson School District 1 is what we are because of our people. If it weren't for who we have, we wouldn't have the scores, we wouldn't be recognized as one of the top districts in the state. So we wanted to recognize the best of the best tonight. So we have our of the years, as we call them here. So we want to give an opportunity for the board to see them and recognize them. We'll start with Kimberly Terry. She is our Teacher of the Year for 2025-26. Step over there so we get a picture of all of you. Thank you. Our support staff member of the year, Holly Ragsdale. And then our induction teacher of the year, Anna Kohler. And if you will get a picture of all three of them, please. Those are our of the years. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Next month, we will have quite a few more folks to recognize, because that will be when some more of the test scores and report card ratings are publicized, so we'll be able to invite our students that were perfect scores. So we'll have quite a few folks to recognize, kind of like we did last year, so we're looking forward to that meeting. But that's all the recognitions we have for tonight.
Okay, you want to go ahead with the financial report?
Yes, ma'am. Next, the financial report. In front of you, you've got before we dig into the financial report, I know some of you are real excited to hear us talk about all the different accounts and numbers and things like that, but folks do not need to feel obligated to stay for this exciting portion of our evening.
Yes, y'all can go. I'm sorry.
Representative Sanders, you may stay.
Leave my fair
We're sharing
got
budgets.
solicit, it's road money, all the check lists.
We've got to go see what other provisos we can put
Don't
in
work
now.
on it. I sent you the list already.
Thank y'all for coming.
Thank you.
At the beginning, you have all the local accounts from the different schools. As you review that, if there's anything that you have a specific question about or anything like that, please let me or Travis know, and we will communicate with the school or find out any answers that you need.
It's, just, I don't know what the scheduling looks like, but it's really smart to put the athletic rivalries within our district early in the season, because
Yes.
that puts a lot of cash.
Yes.
I don't know what that Powdersville Wind gate was, but it had to be huge.
Coach Musser said that was one of the biggest gates they've had in years, and I know that,
The Easley Wind gate had to be huge too.
and, Coach Broom of Palmetto said that the opening weekend was one of the biggest gates they'd had in years.
Yeah.
So it's been a good start with ticket sales to start the season.
Right.
Next, when you get to the blue pages, you'll see our different investment accounts. Right now, we've got 46 CDs for a total investment of about $10.4 million. That accrued a little over $275,000 in interest last night. We also have 2 food service CDs that have about $396,000 that accrued a little over $4,200 in interest. On the third page, you see all of our different investment accounts. On the fourth page, you see the backups to 1, 2, and 3. And then the next page is the backup to 4, then the backup to 5, and the backup to 6. One thing that Mr. Thomas and I have been talking with our student nutrition folks about is the possibility of bringing the 2 food service CDs into the district CDs, just to kind of simplify things, keep things all in one place. So this month, I think Mr. Thomas is going to explore working with food service to do that. Food service director, Mr. Dawkins, has asked about looking into the possibility of doing that. But we just wanted to mention that to the board before we did that. Just so you know, it wouldn't impact anything. It would just, that money that's invested would be under the school district instead of student nutrition. That's the only thing that would change with that.
Is there a history for that, Dr. Young, why it was that way? Is that just an operating profit center to try to see?
We just had a little extra funds in food service to invest years ago, and I think just to provide a little bit more cash flow to them, we're just gonna buy those CDs from the general fund monies and just transfer those over.
Next, I'm turn over to Mr. Thomas to review the building program.
All right, your sheet after the blue sheets, the subfund 502 report. This is our building program. Our total building program revenue, as you see, is $54,284,000. And then the total building expenses below that at $45,205,000. And that brings our current building program balance to $10,628,000. On the bottom of that page, you can see on the left side, the projects in progress, of course, Oak Hill Elementary. And then on the right side, the completed projects so far with this pot of money.
One thing before we go to local option sales tax, I think I had sent you all an email and been in touch about scheduling some times for us to talk with Mike Gallagher and Franny over the next couple of weeks, so we could talk through some of the long range plans with the building program. So Mr. Carr, I see you trying to play catch up here, but yes, we will definitely talk in details, kind of explain some of that where you can hear from the experts on how all this works.
All right, our next report is Subfund 515, Local Option Sales Tax. And this report is going to reflect collections from the month of May. Anderson County, as a whole, received in a little over $3.6 million for the month. Anderson One's percentage of that is a little over 33.5%, which generated a total of $1,222,000. 20% of that goes to property tax relief, $244,537, and then the remaining 80% can be used for capital, $978,148. Below that, you can see the fund balance for this account, starting out the month at $19.5 million. Add in the revenues and the interest for the month, less expenses, brings our ending fund balance at the end of August 2025, $20,265,000. Below that, you can see the recent projects completed and ongoing out of local sales tax also.
I know I've said this before, but I'm pretty sure when we started all this, we were at 30.1 something percent.
Definitely low 30s,
Yeah,
and we're
yeah.
continuing to climb.
Or maybe 31,
on
but
the county.
to go up a couple percentage points in that amount of time is not shocking anybody sitting here, I don't think.
Our next report is our revenue report for school board, and this is also for the month of August. You can see all of the revenue accounts are listed, and then the totals at the bottom. Revenue received for August, $6,885,000, and then total revenue received year to date, $12,434,603, and that's puts us at 10% of budget on the revenue side. And then after that, our final report's our expenditure report for school board, and this is a 2-page report. Page 2 has our totals. Expenses for August total $8,061,000, and then expenses year to date $10,575,000, which puts us at 9% of budget. So both are in really good shape and very comparable to prior years, percentage-wise.
Any questions? Thank you, Mr. Thomas.
Thank you.
Okay, our next item, Dr. Young, is our instructional report.
So I'm going to turn over to Mr. Moore. I know I've shared some of this with you in some emails, and you've seen some of it on social media, but Mr. Moore, I'm going to share some test score data with you.
Yeah, and I know, hopefully you saw Dr. Young in our video. It did not go viral, so we did not give up the day job. We tried, and Jen tried to make us look good, but I'm sure it was a failed attempt.
You did look good.
Thank you. Thank you. We tried. We did it in one take. I know you can't believe that. I am going to turn it over to Holly Harrell, our director at the Career Technology Center, to share a great update from them, and look forward to hearing that. But just briefly, wanted to be able to just talk through and do a final recap. And then, as you heard Dr. Young mention, next month we'll get into recognizing some specific students with perfect scores, as well as the report card piece of the accountability and the achievement in our district. I did want to start here, though. You may or may not be aware that the state of South Carolina has this goal of every student being college, career, or military ready. And they have this 75% marker as kind of the goal for the state by 2030. And I highlighted that because you'll see in some specific areas where our district has actually already met that 75% marker. So I just want to kind of run through these quickly and just make sure that we have talked about those. For 3rd through 8th grade, we have SC Ready, and you know that to be our end-of-year test where we're looking for this idea of proficiency. How many students are meeting proficiency? When we talk report card, we'll talk about growth, and there's a growth component, but specifically when we're talking about the number and percentage of students that are proficient on our standardized tests, this is what you see 3rd through 8th grade. And you can see the ranking in the state in terms of proficiency, as well as those actual proficiency percentages. And in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, you see that over that 75% marker or goal at this point, which is great. And you can see how that relates to the average in the state as well. I will tell you, we started our PLC work and our standards work around our ELA standards first. And now we're getting into the math end of things now. And I think we see the result of that hard work, that collective work among our teams at Anderson One. This is the math end of things.
Brad,
And-
before you go on to the
Yes,
next
ma'am.
slide, will you back up a slide?
Absolutely.
I just want to stop right here on this slide, and we should be jumping up and down on this slide.
Amen. Thank you, Ms.
I
Burton.
mean, y'all should be shot. This should be a football stadium type celebration.
Thank you, Ms. Burton.
That is huge.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And I remember sitting in this seat, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and we were looking at that 5th grade and 8th grade number.
Yep.
Because it wasn't where the other grade levels were in ELA, and I have a fit, you're gonna talk about this in math too, but wow.
Yeah.
To see the gains in those 2 grades, because those are 2 very difficult grades.
Very.
So kudos.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome job.
And I will say, you'll see this, and for pointing that out, one thing we are proud of is the consistency piece, and you'll see this even reflected in EOC at the English 2 level. Like I don't think we dropped below 4th in the state in that ELA arena. And so you mentioned math, and I'm going to transition to that. And what you will see is kind of where I think our needs and where our kind of professional learning plan currently resides is with math. Now, the positive is that compared to the state, still very strong, still in the top 8, 9 in the state. Our middle schools had a banner year in math. You can see 8th grade was mentioned, 2nd in the state, which is phenomenal. And then I will share this for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. One of the things I was doing today was with K through 2 and 3 through 5 math teachers unpacking our new standards. And so that's an area of focus for us, but still proud of the work that they're doing, and I expect you will see similar results as we go through this process that we work through ELA with. So I'm excited about that, and I will tell you the state is focused on math. That is a huge area of focus for the state of South Carolina, as it tends to lag behind our ELA and our ELA counterparts. And I just do a few highlights. You saw 3rd through 5th grade, 75% or above. And one of the things Dr. Young is great at doing is helping us kind of take a big picture look at this from the state perspective. As we were perusing this, and that's what we do. We log in and we pull the file. We can't help it. We've got to see how everyone else is doing too. We're one of 2 districts across the state that can say in 3rd through 8th grade math that we're above 50% in all of those grade levels. The other district I won't mention by name, but let's just say there are a few differences among, I guess, this district and that district, and we can talk about that at another time. We're doing good things, and it's a consistent effort. And one of the things we know is that we are alive because our board supports us and paves the way for us. And that is quite honestly where it starts. And so we're grateful for that. I will mention just quickly high school. You know that they take an end-of-course test in 4 key areas. And we're looking for proficiency here in this conversation again. That's A, B's, and C's at this particular juncture. And what we're looking for are that 75% marker again. You'll see in English 2 and Algebra 1. I think you'll remember with Algebra 1, we recognized some Algebra 1 teachers at Palmetto High School earlier. I think it was last year. And they are right there at 1st, 2nd in the state, literally at Palmetto High School in that Algebra 1 number. It's really, I think, less than a percentage point in that case. And then English 2, I believe, was 3rd in the state. And then U.S. history, biology, you can see compared to our counterparts across the state that we're still quite above that state average. And I will share with you on this next slide a couple of points. Number 1, we, again, are one of only 2 districts that can boast that we have all 4 of these content areas inside. It's actually the top 9 in the state in all 4 of those ESC areas. And then Algebra 1 and English 2, top 3 statewide. So we're incredibly proud of that. And I will share with you that we are utilizing that structure that we think gave us those results on the Algebra 1 end to impact those other 3 content areas. So we're going to kind of walk through that same process to continue to chip away at those numbers as well. Before I turn it over to Ms. Harold, does anybody have any questions or comments?
I know STEM is very important, but what are we doing about U.S. history? Because the more I look at the news and social media, I realize how stupid we are as a country on U.S. history. And I hate to use that word, but that's exactly what and I'm a huge history fan, so if we don't teach how we were formed as a country, why we were formed, and the evolution of that democracy and that republic, and we're in trouble. So I'd like to see us focus on that as well. I know STEM gets you a good job and all about that, but then you
Well,
gotta
I think it's a great point.
Yeah.
Mr. Wilson, I will share with you, September the 9th, we are pulling all of the U.S. history teachers together for the first time. And that is going to be a major focus for our high schools. And so we would share with you that we are well on our way to supporting U.S. history next in that whole standards process.
do we still do quiz bowls and things like that on teams, like math teams and,
I'm not aware
okay.
of any specifically that we participate in.
I know through Beta Club there's some stuff, but it's all through those other organizations where they do those kind of things.
Is there a district that's doing well with U.S. history, Brad, that you are aware of, or I need to do my own research on that topic too. That test is really hard.
It's very difficult.
It's very, very hard.
Yes.
So, I mean, we're in the top of, at the 50% mark.
Right.
So,
Yes.
you know, what other
There are a
districts?
few that we've identified, and one of the things I think we found is there is a document way in the back of those standards that has some of those recurring major things in history, and you have to pull those out in each unit. And so that's one of the things we're going to do. You know this, but also, are we actually teaching the content that is critical, essential content that we know is going to appear in the EOC? And so that's one of the things that we'll do in this process is ensure that we're actually teaching. I know that might sound silly, but we're teaching the standards that are written and provided, and that our teachers have clarity in what they are to teach to mastery.
That
And so-
clarity is very important.
Absolutely.
especially with U.S. history.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, we'll turn it over to Ms. Harrell. And hopefully I didn't mess up your technology.
And before she gets in, her program and her teachers are part of these in the course of schools, because it really helps. You'll see students get engaged, and as a former high school principal, they might struggle in middle school, they find something they're engaged in at the career center, they come back, and suddenly they're invested in what's going on in biology or U.S. history or whatever because of her folks at the career center. So it's a partnership, and we work together and support one another. So we felt that it was appropriate to have Ms. Harrell come talk to you all. I know Ms. Burgess and Ms. Upton are very much connected with what goes on at the career center, but we wanted the rest of you to kind of get a snapshot too.
So one of the things that we do at the Career Center in every program is look at numeracy and literacy. So every one of our programs, we look at the English component, whether it be technical reading and technical writing, looking at manuals and those kind of things. We integrate that into our curriculum, and the same thing with math. And some programs obviously are much more high-level math than others. You can walk into any engineering classroom and you'll see those mathematics skills are ridiculous. In fact, when I go and observe, I'm like, is this appropriate? I have no idea because I don't know what we're doing. So some of those math skills are amazing. You go in cosmetology and you would see the biology and the chemistry is incredible. And in fact, most of our programs have some type of history component in it because they're learning the history of healthcare, where it came from and what that looks like. So it may not necessarily be exactly what you talked about as in U.S. history, but there is some of that in there. So I do think we work together. So I'll give you a little bit of fast facts about us, and this was from last school year, so this is not updated this year yet, but we are working on that. So this is a snapshot of us and where we serve. Now, as you remember, most of our students are 10th, 11th, and 12th. We have maybe a handful, about 100 students that are 9th graders. So most of ours are just 10th, 11th, and 12th. So when you look across the state at enrollment, most career centers can start as early as the 6th grade. So like Pickens High School, Pickens and Oconee do start as early as 6th grade at some of their career centers. We don't have that because we don't have room for that. So we have one group of 9th graders, which is about 100 of them, and the rest are all 10th, 11th, and 12th. So if you actually look across the state at just 10th, 11th, and 12th, we are the largest career center in the state for that. And not only are we the largest, but we're the largest in completers. And a completer is somebody who starts a program and finishes it. For example, in cosmetology, they have to take a 10th grade cosmetology course, which is cosmetology 1. In junior year, you do cosmetology 2. And in the senior year, there are 2 components, first semester and second semester, which is cosmetology 3 and 4. So you have to put all that together. So students that start a program and finish it. All of our programs, but a handful start in the 11th grade. So our 10th grade is kind of like our introductory year, and then we move on to the 11th grade. So you'll notice that our senior enrollment is huge for us, because these are the amount of students that finish with us starting and ending. And your high school principals do a fantastic job of, when a student signs up, they finish. It's very difficult for them to drop a class. Now, obviously, they have a academic conflict, they need something to graduate, but just dropping them for an early dismissal, we don't do that. So we make them finish, which is great for our workforce. And you'll see that as we move through the slides. This is our post-graduation rates. So we are required, after high school, the student leaves, 9 months later, we're required to find out what they're doing. Where are they at? Are they in field or are they out of field? So if you'll notice, these are our numbers for the last couple of years. The state wants you to hit somewhere in the 80s-ish. I mean, we are well above that. We do have a few that we still can't locate, but for the most of it, our students are in field, employed. Most of them in field or in college. That's where all of most of ours go to. So these are our college courses. You know, career and tech ed is not vocational ed anymore. It is now career and tech ed. A lot of our students go on to post-secondary education, as you saw on the slide before. And then we do some dual enrollment courses as well. Mechatronics, obviously, with Tri-County Tech. And they limit to a 16 in a program. I've pushed them to 24 now, and they don't send anybody back, so that's a good thing. But we also have students earning biomedical and engineering through Project Lead the Way. We have an EMT course through Tri-County. We also do AP cybersecurity, and you can see with our AP courses down here that we far surpass most, especially in computer science principles, the global rate, not just the state rate. So our cybersecurity teachers is phenomenal.
On the dual enrollment with Tri-County Tech on mechatronics.
Yes, sir.
On 10th, have they finished 10th, 11th, 12th? What remains at Tri-County Tech?
So it really depends on the student. So if they take advantage, and they should take advantage of summer courses, if they take advantage of summer courses, they literally will have 4 classes to complete a 2-year degree. A lot of students don't do that. They just do ours. So if they don't do that, they'll have 2 semesters and they'll have a 2-year degree for free.
It's pretty powerful.
It's very, very powerful. And actually, the mechatronics students are the first ones that get placed in a permanent job, because they cannot co-op because of the college course. Tri-County doesn't let us pull them out. But these businesses start in like February, their senior year, come in to hire them. And we're talking Michelin, BMW, Boeing, ZF, and we're talking, they start anywhere, the minimum would be $24 an hour. And then as soon as they get that 2-year degree, they're bumping up to over $30 an hour. It's ridiculous. These kids come in here with brand new cars, and they're coming back to come talk to the class in their brand new cars because they're making $30-some an hour. It's incredible.
And they qualify for programs like the Michelin Scholars Program, and different programs where they get their foot in the door, and then Michelin or.
And they're paying for their college.
Yes.
The business they work for is paying for their college. It's incredible.
And speaking from parental experience, I had one child who took mechatronics at the Career Center, who is now running the family business. And I have my middle child who is now taking the courses. And her daddy sat and watched her do her homework, and she was already doing high-level engineering experiences on her homework. And of course, she helped run the job at Oak Hill. So, yeah.
So industry certification is a big thing that we talk about. You'll notice that there's a big drop when 2023 hit. So the state kind of took it over. The EOC took it over and said, we're going to say some of these certifications are industry certifications under the CCR designation, and some of them are not. So we used to do a whole lot, and we felt that was really good for our students. They got jobs from it. And then the state came over and said, no, we're not going to assist you in these. We're not going to help pay for that. So we kind of dropped back a little bit. I don't necessarily agree with all their certifications that they've taken out, but it's the parameter that we have to follow. I'm working diligently on changing that in the future, because I think that some of our local industries ask for some certifications that's not approved by the state. So we're working on that. But for the most part, we have a 97% passing rate of our certifications. So we're not just giving them and the students aren't passing, they're actually passing and doing very well.
So this is what it's all about, is on-the-job training. This is what everybody wants to hear is, are your kids being placed? What are they doing? So if you'll look, our co-ops is what is paid. So our students actually go out to industry, and these are our seniors, go out to industry and they actually pay instead of coming to school. And then we do internships and job shadow. Some of that's in the sophomore year, some of that's in the junior year. Usually, traditionally, the internships are in the junior year. Now, this all depends on transportation. Students got to have transportation in order to get there. If they don't have the transportation, neither one of those is an option for students. We are looking inside our district here at trying to do some things, also with District 2, and with us, like we take a couple of students ourselves, so that's going to help some of the numbers down the road. But that is all based off of student availability to drive here. So if you look at our numbers, we take work-based learning very serious. We use soft skills. We integrate that in every single course. So all of our courses, we go through teamwork, we go through resume building, interview, all of those skills that you guys need when you're running your businesses. We hope that we do that at every program. So when they walk out of our building, they have a working resume ready to go before they leave us. Plus, they've done at least one mock interview.
Speaking of some of those internships and jobs and stuff, this summer, we had one of the students that was learning skills in automotive, that was learning some of the stuff to be a bus mechanic. He was back here in the shop working there. And then we also had another student that is working in IT, doing a lot of stuff with the computers. I'm not going to say he's more helpful than some of the full-time employees we have, but I think we would want him to come help us if we could. Miss Upton knows who we're talking about.
He loves it. He loves doing it for Christian Center too, doesn't he?
Yes,
He does for y'all.
Yep. He's a great kid. So this shows you where we put our students. So it's not just in Anderson County. We look at where they live, what opportunities. I'll be honest with you. The Lawrence County, they're driving across quite a bit because they're paying a lot. Like I think of the kids making like $27 an hour in construction because that's what they're paying. So it's ridiculous, y'all. Our students from August 1st to May 2nd, now this stopped May 2nd, and it didn't count for the first week of school practically. Our students worked almost 63,000 hours. And the most impressive is how much they earned. So our students earned over $900,000 last year. I don't know anybody in the state, any career center in the state that can even come close to this. Like that's huge, y'all. So I say all this because we have great kids. Y'all send us great kids. Anderson 2 sends us great kids. And so they do really well, and they like to come to here. Maybe they find what they want to do, or maybe they figure out what they don't want to do. It's all just as important as figuring that out. So I just wanted to throw some winners up there. You can see that we have winners everywhere in pretty much all of our programs. These are state winners. I didn't put any of our local or regional winners, but these are state winners. So our students are all over the place. And that's the end of my presentation, but these group right here made y'all stars. So these are our senior culinary students, and again, we have students from District 2 as well, and then of course the 3 high schools. I appreciate the opportunity. Is there any questions on that?
You said some statistic early on about the largest career center in the state, but you had some qualification to it. Can you repeat that?
Yes, sir. So we do 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. But if you took out the 9th grade, 100 students, and you just looked at the enrollment of our 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, we would be the largest career center in the state. Because other career centers usually do either 6 through 12 or 9 through 12.
Gotcha. What's the process to get into the career center curriculum?
To be a student?
Yes.
Oh, you just sign up? You sign up in the 10th grade year?
I'm giving you a softball there, Holly. It's not, it's competitive to be in this process.
Well, it is to a point.
Okay.
So to sign up for any of our courses, and let's take the 9th grade out of it, because the 9th grade is just engineering, and you gotta have high-level math to get in there. But every other course, the students just sign up. We put it in Power School, and Power School really makes the determination of where the students go. We try to make it equal, because we only have so many spots for students, like in Weldon, I only put 23 in Weldon. So if you divide that by 4 high schools, that's not very many that's going to be in Weldon. their 10th grade year for a semester, or quarter one. And we'll have another 23 quarter two. So, but from there, it gets competitive, because out of those 23 that took it semester one in their 10th grade year, semester one, and then the 23 that take it semester two their 10th grade year, only 23 get into that junior class, and that's where the competitiveness comes in.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Well, you do a great job, and it's a great school.
Well, thank you. We have a lot of support, not just from your 4 high schools, but also from your 2 superintendent here and at District 2 and your board members. I mean, you guys got to believe in us. And I believe in your teachers. They do a great job. We get great kids, y'all. We don't have discipline problems a whole lot. We don't have attendance problems because kids want to come. So you gave us great kids, and you got great leadership at your high school, so you really do. So I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
You can come anytime.
Thank you, Mr. Ashley.
I would just like to add, if that's okay. So I grew up through Career Center in Pickens County in HVAC. So I've been in the industry 30 years now. And I'm actually overall South Carolina for American Standard commercial. So I can contest to the Career Center if you don't know what you want to do, what direction you want to go in, because it was a big help to me as a young man, not knowing what I wanted to be. And I made a fantastic career out of it. So, seeing these guys in the path that they're taking is awesome. It's exciting. We appreciate what you do.
Holly, I was at the the regional meeting of the School Board Association in Pickens County the other day, and one of our fellow districts is looking at they already started on a middle school career center. I run everything by my wife for lots of different reasons. And sometimes it comes back great, sometimes not. She's a proof. She's a teacher in this district. She asked me where I was. I said, well, I'm up at Pickens. I'm looking at this career center. They're going to revamp the old Pickens Middle School for a middle school career center. She says, well, that's the best idea I've heard you have in 10 years. I said, well, it's not my idea. She says, best thing I've ever heard.
I would love to do that.
I don't know where the money's going to come from, but we've got our board chair here.
I was just going to say.
But I think the more earlier we expose people to careers, the better off we are. My opinion, this doesn't mean a whole lot, but if we can find a way to, I'm not too ashamed to take a good idea and make it better.
I would love to do that. We have several ideas, don't we, Dr. Young? Several ideas. So you can just pass over the money, we can make that happen, for sure.
Yeah, that's always the issue, isn't it?
That's right.
You're not gonna have no sitting down.
Well, thank you for all you do.
Thank you, Holly.
Okay, Dr. Young, I'll move next to nutrition report.
Yes, so I'm turning to Ms. Brady.
Yes, again, the instructional program is such a hard act to follow. But I will say that our student nutrition program does a really good job fueling the brains that are performing so well in these tests.
Very important.
That is very important. We have to fuel those brains. We've added a couple of really neat menu items that are becoming quite popular with the students. And Mr. Dawkins, as you know, he let the kids kind of vote on some things last spring. So we've added those, and then we'll add some more in January. Other than that, the information for our report is there for you. So,
Thank you, Ms. Brady.
Thank you.
Next is our administration report, and I'll turn to Dr. Wilson.
The most exciting thing, policies. I know y'all have been waiting with bated breath to hear about our policies. So I have 3 policies that are for first reading, and of course that process, Mr. Carr, is just, we read over them and you'll have 30 days to review them, and if there's any changes, you just contact me, I'm happy to go through this.
Yes,
These come from the attorneys at the South Carolina School Board Association. That's where our policies come from. So you can see this is the first one is an administrative rule for unencumbered time. You remember, we actually are going to approve the actual policy. I'm going to ask for y'all's approval on the actual policy. And that's based on nurses being added into the unencumbered time process, as well as some information. So they added, this was not with the original policy, they've added now an administrative rule that gives a little bit more detail. So if y'all want to look over that, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer that before we vote on this next time. The second is our school year policy. We have not updated this in several years. There's really not a whole lot. The main thing probably for us is the number of professional development days. They've shifted a little bit at the beginning because now we have those 16 hours of teachers' unencumbered time before school starts. So it allows us now to have an extra day at the beginning. You'll see that on our calendar as I present that here in a little bit. Because we now have to give teachers that unencumbered time, which they get to work in their rooms. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. But that's the major change on that policy. Again, for first reading, you can ask me. And then the next policy is brand spanking new. This is from our auditors. The auditors would like for us to have a fraud risk management policy that also kind of talks about how we deal with fraud and those kind of things. This was a policy that was given to us that I think the auditors would be happy with, as well as we're having all of our staff read over whistleblower information that there are no consequences if you blow the whistle on any kind of fraud. That certainly nobody would hold you accountable and can punish you for that. So that's also built into this policy. So this is coming from our auditors asking that we do this. So that would also be a first reading for us that we would look at for a vote next year, next month. Going to final reading, the second reading, we have policy GCLE, that is your unencumbered time. So just so you know, the red is what's been added. This was, we had a policy that I presented. The South Carolina School Board presented the update of that policy this past month. So these are the changes. You can see there are very few major changes, really. Just some wording was different. The things that were marked out were really redone again in the red, you can see. So I will ask that we approve this based on the changes that were made by the South Carolina School Boards Association. Basically gives superintendent and principals control over schedules and that kind of thing. That was not in the original policy. And then that principal will definitely coordinate with teachers about how they use that unencumbered time and making sure it's done according to state code. So I would ask that the board approve policy GCLE, unencumbered time.
Okay.
Sure.
When it's approved, when is it going to effect?
Immediately. Yes, ma'am.
You want us to go ahead and do a separate?
I can do one, Deb.
Okay.
Yes,
Can
ma'am.
I ask a question, sir?
Sure, anytime.
On the school year, and if you said this, I apologize, I
Yes,
was
sir.
reading ahead. Explain the red portion there.
Okay, red is what, the black is our old policy. I'm sorry, I should have said that to remind you. The black is our old policy that we had in place. The red is the recommended changes. So some of the old policies.
Is that from whom?
From South Carolina School Boards
He's talking
Association.
about the sentence
Yeah, what it said.
when school should start.
Yeah, not begin classes prior to the third Monday in August.
That is state law. That is actually state law, but because we are on a modified year-round calendar,
Gotcha,
we're
okay.
allowed to not do it that third. So that is actually the law that is in place. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
But we follow that modified year-round calendar. I'm sorry, I misunderstood the question. Yes, sir. You catch me at some point. You get me. So the.
I wasn't trying to catch
No,
you.
sir, I know.
You just
I
know
want
I'm
you
not a
to.
big fan of starting school so early, so I was
Yes,
trying to
sir.
catch you on a technicality.
Okay, I'm sorry. Darn. I understand that. The next policy, you remember, this is for second reading. We didn't actually have a title. We had a title but no policy number. The state is sent us a policy number now, so that is BEA. That is our live streaming board meetings. That has also been tweaked from the first time they sent it out to the next time. What happens, just so you know, is the state board attorneys will put something together, and then they work with the South Carolina School Board Association to kind of clean it up. I don't understand how all that works for the attorneys, but this is what they recommend we use. So you'll see there's some minor changes again about, it's available on the district webpage if possible, those kind of technical disruptions, what we do if it actually can't get it to work one night, and that could happen. And then you see a blue here. The blue was in the original policy from the state. It was not included in the update. I talked with several of my colleagues and also with the attorneys, And they felt like we should probably keep that in, that non-compliance. So I just wanted you to know, that is right out of the State Department, the reg, and we just felt like we would keep that. What happens if some reason we don't comply with that, I just want folks to know this is what happens if we don't do it. So that's why we kept that. So those policies, so I would ask for the board to approve policy GCL and BEA for second reading, please.
So you've heard Dr. Wilson's recommendation. I will need a motion to approve GCLE and then BEA. Do I have, Dr. Neal, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Hood, any further discussion? Hearing none, we're ready to vote. All those in favor, show it by the uplifted hand. It is unanimous. Thank you. And if you have any questions for him on those first three policies, just feel free to call you during the next month.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Ms. Dutton.
Okay, go ahead.
We do have one, as you know, the state now requires us to approve all booster clubs. The board's required to approve those. We have the Wren Band Booster Club and the information related to that. And I would ask the board to approve their registration form for the Wren Band Booster.
Heard Dr. Wilson's recommendation that we approve the form for the Wren Band Boosters Club. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Wilson, do I have a second? Dr. Neal, any discussion? Hearing none, we're ready to vote. All those in favor, show by the uplifted hand. Okay.
Thank you very much. And my final item tonight is our calendar for 26-27. As you know, we bring the calendar in September and then allow it to sit and get input from the community before we vote in October. We put this out to all of our staff. We had 10 comments. There were a couple of folks that did not want us to take off of Election Day, and we shared with them that we can't really not take off Election Day. They thought that was too many days in November since we got the whole month, the whole week at Thanksgiving. The week at Thanksgiving is something that our teachers really liked. We do have 2 days in November based on, that is an election day on the 3rd. It makes no sense to not be off the 2nd because kids won't come, people won't come, and then be off on that Tuesday. You can see we gave 6 days at the beginning of the year. That's based on the new 16-hour unencumbered time that teachers need, which still gives us some time. There's so much y'all know we have to do at the first of the year, the things that have to be given to the teachers based on law. So it still gives some time for those PD and get ready. And then you can see we did try, the districts we tried to work at least 1 day where students had off each month. And then we would graduate, the last day of school would actually be the 25th on that Tuesday. So we have had a couple of districts that have already passed this. Some don't do it as kind of a 2-month situation, but we feel like it's important for our community to give us input. So we'll put it out there, and if there's any community input, I'll bring it and share it with you. And certainly you may hear from folks, but if they bring it to us, we'll definitely share it. All 5 school districts share this calendar.
And one thing I do want to add is, you see like in November, there's a couple of slash days of inclement. That same thing would apply in February. Is if we needed to miss a day for inclement weather, we wanted to have flexibility to do makeup days throughout the school year, rather than just, remember last year we had to manipulate the calendar when we were, because of Hurricane Helene. This would give us flexibility to move makeup days closer to when we actually miss school rather than have to get funky. So like February 12th could be an inclement weather day, or February 15th could be an inclement weather day, or the March day if we needed to. That way we could do the student days earlier rather than have to wait and do something creative if we needed to.
Is there any way you could, that's a long stretch at the end of the year, academic year, from April the 2nd to May the 31st with no break. Is there a way that we could add a break? And I just looking out for teachers.
Yes, sir. I'll tell you,
Mental break.
There's
That's
been
tough at the end of the year, end of the school year, go 8 weeks without a break. So.
Yes, sir. We talked about that. Sometimes the calendar flows up that way. The issue was that we always try to keep spring break at the exact same time so people will know that it's that week before Easter kind of thing. So that there was talk about moving that to like the 5th. We don't want to get too close to the testing before we get into that, but, we certainly can do that. Again, this is the best basically that the group could come up with to get the days in fit, but we certainly can have that conversation.
So, looking at the calendar here, it says that the start the third Monday, is that correct?
We would start actually on August 6th. This is considered a modified calendar, which is allowed under the
I was
law.
looking at that statement here.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's what it was, yes, sir. It's considered a modified school
I
calendar.
understand.
So we're allowed to start early.
Has the Anderson County superintendents ever looked at true all-year round school? Because I have friends in Atlanta who absolutely said it's, people thought that was the worst idea ever, and when they put it in, now it's the best idea they've ever done.
They did several years, it's been years
Yeah,
ago.
I just didn't know, I mean, it's,
Survey.
Yeah, they did.
Well, we set out a survey.
Well, they sent a lot of administrators, I was one of them, they got to go and see, different schools that were doing it. But we came back and presented it to parents, and they, at that time, they weren't interested.
yeah, it's a child care
And plus the
challenge.
fact we couldn't guarantee the elementary, middle, and high school could all be on the same schedule. So it didn't go over very well with the community.
The teachers who like the week of Thanksgiving,
Yes, sir.
I mean, Mr. Wilson was saying down there, I mean, you got 8 weeks down there. Wouldn't it be more beneficial to move those Monday and Tuesday to somewhere in there?
Yes, sir. I vetoed, we do this as a 5-school district, it's all 5 districts. I vetoed that when we did it the first time, but I got outvoted. This is something that several districts, they had surveyed their teachers, and it was like the number one thing their teachers wanted. I don't know if it's the number one thing that our teachers wanted, but I can just tell you our teacher of the year, when she came, she said, I was clearly told to not vote for this if we don't have a Thanksgiving week. We want that week at Thanksgiving. So it's become where it's something that.
I agree with Dr. Neal. I hear differently, okay? So I mean, I'm not just from one person, I
Yes,
hear
sir.
from they may not be filling out the survey, but I just I don't get that whole week there, because if your motive here is to get testing done before the end of the semester, right?
Yes, sir.
So you off a week in which you're losing some momentum there, and then you have a 2.5 weeks, to get it done, to test. So it seems like if you really want momentum, you wouldn't take a whole week at Thanksgiving. You would keep some momentum going into that.
Yes, sir.
I go on record again for the third straight year, say I don't like a week at Thanksgiving. So.
Yes, sir.
I concur.
Yes, sir. So we'll put this out and get comment, and certainly the board has the opportunity we will do what you choose to do.
And that has to be the same for all 5 districts.
It's extremely difficult if we
Yeah, I
don't
know
do
it
that.
is.
Yes.
I know
Why?
that. I realize it.
We have some,
I understand District 2, but why? Why with 3, 4, and 1, and 5?
For the most part, Anderson 2 is the one that we have to be on the same. I think traditionally we try to be on the same as the rest of the county. But I do know the feedback from teachers that we get is protect that week at Thanksgiving. And I think y'all are preaching to the choir as far as looking at the big picture. It creates some missing instruction when you have all those days in November, but the feedback we get from our staff is that they enjoy that.
like, I'm with you, but I get out of it. Yes, sir.
I would take some of those days and put them toward the end of the year and give a little bit of mental break as you go a whole straight 8 weeks at the end of a school year without a break. So that's.
How important is that day on the 4th for professional development? Do you come back? I don't know, I'm not a teacher.
Mr. Moore, you want to chime in there? You got a lot of feedback on that from years ago.
Let's talk about those scores again. That answers that question. I'm just saying.
For high schools particularly, when you're switching over, coming back and having some time to kind of get geared up and switching over, particularly at high schools when your entire group's switching out, you're getting a whole new group of students. Teachers they need that time to kind of get all their roles up and ready, Because you really can't do that at the end because you're finishing grades like 2 days before Christmas break to get all the grades up and in. So there's a need, and then
I received very clear feedback from the teachers, let's say, that especially high school, that fourth should definitely be protected.
And I agree with that.
As they change semester.
just for information.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you. All right, item E, Dr. Young.
And I'll zip through this really quickly. And again, this is one of those things that we meet with Mike and Franny later in October. We'll talk more about this, but as far as safety stuff, we're working very closely with the state on the State Department safety grant. Dr. Wilson's worked with them, where we're continuing to upgrade locks and access control points throughout the district. And the other thing that we're hoping that we've submitted is, you've heard of the different badges that teachers can wear. They kind of fit right behind their ID, where they'll have a button right here on their ID where they can hit, and it'll alert the SRO and admin if they were to ever need anything. So we've met with some different companies about that, and we're hoping that the grant comes through for us to be able to fund that project that would last for the next 3 to 5 years to be able to get us started with that. The other thing I wanted you all to know about, and if by any chance you care to learn more about how this works, on October 10th, we're doing a simulation of working with the Anderson County Emergency Management, all Anderson County districts, EMS, and the Sheriff's Department, where we're kind of going to do like a drill of a mass casualty event just to see what that looks like. So it'll be like a simulation, working with the old McDuffie High School and Anderson 5, and then how the reunification will work at the New Spring Church right there on Highway 81, kind of between Brookstone and Tealhana. So if you're interested in want more information on that, you can contact me or Dr. Wilson, and we can fill you in more on what that would look like.
Are we training our teachers? Is that what we're doing? Or are we training our SROs?
This is SROs and admin looking at how all those processes work.
Is this what they call ALICE training?
Yes.
Okay.
So the ALICE training is what happens at the school level that all of our employees do. This is more of like if we had a crisis situation, what we would do on how, because in a crisis situation, nobody's going to care that I'm the superintendent. Chad McBride and his crew is going to be managing law enforcement, Josh Hawkins, and Anderson County Emergency Management. So this would be kind of working with those folks so they can show us how they operate in the event that something would happen. So this would be administrators, Dr. Wilson and myself, and our school resource officers being a part of something like that. So hopefully we never have to use this training, but
You get to watch that reunification process, which can be a real nightmare trying to get kids back to parents.
I'm glad we're going through that.
Yes,
Dr. Young, thanks for adding the school safety to the agenda.
Yeah.
Periodically, that means a lot. So.
I'm a really smart guy at that idea.
I'm just not saying that. I'm just, one of the most important things we do here.
Yep. Construction update. Like I told you, Ms. Pageant has decided that she wants somebody else to go through the transition of concrete to primary to concrete elementary. We have some big decisions coming up over the next couple of months, so we're doing an internal posting for that. So by the October board meeting, we hope that we can identify the appropriate candidate for that. Andy Finley and I have been working with all the neighbors, and I think we got all the paperwork signed as of 10 o'clock this morning, so we've got all the permits ready to roll for road construction to start right there on the construction site within the next week or so, and then we're continuing to work through furniture. Furniture committee is going to go with Lakeshore Furniture, and they'll be submitting that bid or that order within the next few weeks. Also, this is another thing that I would just wanted to put before you. We've got lots of facilities that are 25 to 30 years old. That's a lot of schools had either additions or were built right around the year 2000. So those buildings, the roofs are all 25 to 30 years old, and the HVAC equipment is all 25 to 30 years old. so that they're either at or near end of life. So we've got, on top of finishing up all this stuff, we've got some big things that we've got to make some plans for over the next few years. So that's kind of what we're going to be talking about in October, along with some other needs that we have to do. But that's coming down the pipe, and I think we've got a good plan to be able to continue to take care of what we need to in the district without burdening our community. Just as a update on Oak Hill, on the video, if you saw that got posted, you can kind of see that there's actually like where the parking area and driveway, so if you go, it's not muddy and all the gravel, you can actually kind of get up in there a little easier. And the other thing to know is, from reflecting and looking at orders, we realized that the main entrance was actually going to be off of Elrod Road instead of Oak Road. So the actual address is actually going to be 1575 Elrod Road. I think originally it was going to be 250 Oak Road, but when we looked at how everything ended up being laid out, the main entrance for everybody was going to be off of Elrod Road. So we want to make sure we shared that with everyone. Just so you can see some updated pictures, you can start to see some finishing touches. The gym and the library here. This is the conference center. So next year, when we get ready to recognize all of our perfect scores and all that, like a big crowd, we can hopefully meet in this facility to show that off. But really excited about that coming along. And then we're excited that y'all saw the survey, so we were excited that Oak Hill Eagles is what won the prize, and we feel like we're excited about Oak Hill Eagles that ties in with Patriots, kind of really fits within the Powdersville Patriots, and you can tie in a lot of the patriotic stuff. These are some of the colors that will be within the building, so you got some blue that ties in with what Powdersville High School has, but I'm real excited to share that was what overwhelmingly won the survey from the community feedback, and Ms. Horn and the graphics folks have been working with that. So this is just another one of those steps of like it's becoming real.
Did the students in the district vote on this too?
The community, students, parents, we had a lot of people vote on.
My kids were really excited about voting on this too, so they
Yeah.
in the car and was talking about us.
Well, I hope they got what they wanted.
No comment.
We had some really funky ideas submitted too when we first got recommendations.
My son did.
What was one of the owls and the otters?
It's the owls, the otters, and the eagles. But excited for how that ties into the Patriots with the Eagles and the patriotic stuff. So real excited there. The other thing, I showed some of you this on the way in. We still keep getting artifacts from the original Oak Hill School. This is a report card somebody sent in from 1945 for a student that got straight A's at Oak Hill School, her first grade year. So we just keep getting little
Some
things
of us
like that.
remember report cards that look like that.
Well,
They were kind of green though, wasn't it? Kind of greenish blue or something like that.
Any other questions? Thank you, Dr. Young. We'll move next to item F.
Yes, ma'am. With a lot of the stuff right around Thanksgiving and the board meeting being late October, I think that there was some consideration to move the November 18th board meeting back to December 2nd to do it right after Thanksgiving, so that we didn't have such a gap from November to January between board meetings. So I asked the board to consider moving that board meeting to December 2nd.
You've heard the superintendent's recommendation. I need a motion that we move our board meeting to December the 2nd from November 18th.
I do something.
Okay. Dr. Neal, that's second.
Second.
Ms. Hood. Any discussion? All those in favor, show it by the uplifted hand. Okay, our next item is item G, which is to select delegates for the 2025 Delegate Assembly, which is first weekend in December.
Yes, it's first weekend.
And we have as many as 4 votes, but one person can take care of those 4 votes in the assembly, which meets that afternoon. Wendy has done it, Melissa has done it. You have to have a head delegate.
Yes.
So if any of you are interested, but we need to elect a chairman, and anybody can go, any board members can go.
Just need somebody representing.
Yes, somebody willing to do
During
it.
the delegate assembly that afternoon.
I can't go.
Is it my turn?
It's your turn. All right, Mr. Wilson.
I'll tell you all.
Now we need to get back.
JC has no idea what I'm laughing about. You need to come this year.
I'm gonna say no. I'm busy.
We need a backup. When do you come?
I'll do that.
Okay, all right, we have 2 votes, so you think, all right,
I had to count those last year as the new superintendent in the room, but I think there's some new superintendents this year too, so I don't have to count.
all right, I will just take, if it suits y'all, we'll take both these 2 to vote on at the same time. Mr. Wilson will be the chair and Ms. Burgess will be the vice chair. So all those in favor, can you show up by the uplifted hand? Thank y'all, that was so easy. Item H, personnel.
Turn it over to Ms. Brady.
Yes, just for information purposes only, we do have 1 resignation that is listed there in your agenda.
Thank you. Item 9 is to adjourn, before we have our motions. I'd like to again welcome Mr. Carr to our board. Thank you for being a part. All right, I need a motion to adjourn. Ms. Olson, I need a second. All those in favor, please stand.